He's out. Like, is Deshaun Jackson just out? He's just not gonna play.
I think if Deshaun Watson has said, I'm not gonna play, he's not gonna play. He's decided he's not gonna play at all. Now it's up to the Texans. The Texans don't have to. Texans don't have to let him go. The Texans can say, okay, you won't play, go sit down at your house. And they'll fine you, and we'll keep on taking your money. They're not gonna take all of it. Some every week they're gonna keep on finding him, and until eventually he comes back and decides, you know what, I'm gonna go play, or he retires and he sits out. We've seen it before. Carson Palmer did it. He did it when he was with the Cardinals to go to the Raiders, I believe, or Raiders to go to the Cardinals, one or the other. I think it was Cardinals to go to the Raiders. He sat out. Oh no, I'm sorry, it was the Bengals. From the Bengals to the Cardinals, he sat out 1 year because he did not want to play with the Bengals. He sat out a year, did not play. He said he retired, sat out a year. That was his last year of his contract. After that, they had to release him because he wasn't on the contract anymore. And then the following year, he went on and played with another team. Deshaun can decide to do that, but from, what we've been reading and what we've been seeing, Deshaun Watson does not want to play another down for the Houston Texans.
Like, he's out. He's already out. I mean, yeah. I mean, he has
well,
to be.
He can say he's out. The Texans don't have to do anything.
Yeah.
So.
But it's just one of those things.
But the Patriots right now have been the biggest. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where it's just gonna keep on going
right
and going and going, and like no one's gonna be happy, honestly, until
But it's not like he can even get. It's not like the Texans can even trade him because they'll probably get like good deals from good teams. Like, let's say the Jets, right? They're like, hey, we're gonna give you 3 first-round picks, all this shit, and then he's like, nah, I'm not going to the Jets. So it's kind of like it works that way too.
Exactly. That's one of the other things to where he has a no trade clause.
Mm-hmm.
So even if the Texans say, okay, fine, we found a deal, and it may not be a team that Deshaun wants, he can say no. That's the only power he has to that degree. And Adrian's right there. I did see earlier where they were saying the Jets, and it was the Jets, offering 2 first-round picks, a 2nd-round pick, Sam Darnold and Quinnen Williams, the defensive tackle, to Houston for Deshaun Watson, another player. It wasn't a big name, but another. I mean, maybe the Texans pulled the trigger.
I mean, the thing is, they pulled the trigger with the receiver.
Hopkins.
DeAndre Hopkins. Thank you.
DeAndre Hopkins. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's
that was pretty. Well, yeah. That was pretty bad.
So it kind of makes it like the bar for Deshaun, but I don't know. I kind of put DeAndre and Deshaun Watson kind of at the same level in terms of position, right?
And I agree. You can equate and say Deshaun is a top 5 or top quarterback in the NFL, right?
Right.
You can say the same. DeAndre Hopkins is a top 5, top 3 receiver in the NFL. Mm-hmm. So position wise, you're right. They equate. But then it goes, okay, is it easier to replace a receiver or is it easier to replace a quarterback? And the thing is, it's easier to replace a receiver. You might not, and this is one of the a baseball mentality where you lose your best. Now you're trying to make up for his stats.
Right.
In the NFL, you can make up for DeAndre's stats by bringing in 2 other receivers that may not be as good, but are productive and can get it done. And maybe one of them isn't going to have a 1,500-yard season, but if he has an 800-yard season and this other one has a 700-yard season, well, now you made up DeAndre Hopkins. So, you can replace a DeAndre Hopkins easier than a quarterback. I'm not saying there's, DeAndre Hopkins is a scrub and you can replace. No, it's not that. It's just It's easier. You can find different ways around it. A quarterback touches the ball every single play. And if he's not good, if he doesn't know how to read the defense, doesn't know where to go, can't make the throws, well, then it doesn't even matter if you have DeAndre Hopkins.
Right,
You know what I'm saying?
So, and I guess like just because that was an interesting point about Carson Palmer because I never thought about that. But so is like there any other option for Deshaun Watson? Because I don't think the trade's going to happen because the teams that are going to give up the most for the Texans, like for them to say yes, he's going to say no to that team, like for sure. Like he's not going to go to the Jets or to
well, it depends how much he really wants out. If he really doesn't want to play with Houston anymore, well, they might give you an option to go somewhere else. It may not be the best one, but if you really want out and you cannot play another down for that team, then go ahead and take your out. I mean, everybody says, what is he gonna do? He could just sit. Yeah, he's gonna sit on his principles. But yeah, we've seen that before. Melvin Gordon did last year. Would be when he was his last year with the Chargers. He sat out. And by week 8, he was already back because it hurt the money because every week he was getting fined by the team like $200,000, like every week. So by that point he lost like for 1.5 million. It's gonna hurt, especially when you play in a state when Deshaun's lucky because there's no state tax. But when you live in a state that has state tax, that your $100 million contract, goes to, after federal taxes, goes to like about, 60, and then with state taxes goes to about 50 or 40. So you're not really getting 100 million. So, and then if you're taking away 1 million, 2 million because you're sitting out, I wouldn't do that either.
Mm-hmm. I could see him going to do some Subway sandwich commercials. If he needs extra cash.
Yeah. HEB commercials, dude.
And I think Deshaun has done. Deshaun Watson was doing Subway's commercials.
Yeah.
I think he was a spokesman or for some. And the thing is that, they're not going to put him out there, though, if he's not playing. Because now he's not marketable.
It's true. Jimmy Johns has to step up.
Jimmy John.
Exactly. You're going to need something, a next lower tier restaurant to put them out.
But I just can't see the Texans. I mean, the thing is between like how you said again, like and going to your point towards Melvin Gordon coming back because of the money. But for like Deshaun Watson, he has way more leverage, right? So like if the Texans do start finding him and shit, he's gonna be like, well, now I definitely don't want to play for the Texans. And now the Texans are kind of in a rough spot where they're gonna have to spend 4 or 5 years again, trying to find a QB.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's fine, but at least it's going to be no other team is going to have Deshaun Watson for 4 or 5 years. That's the thing. Deshaun Watson has 3 years left on his deal. And so is Deshaun going to sit for 3 years? And the Texans are fine with it. Why? Because they're going to be getting some money back of that big contract they gave them. They're not going to get all of it back, obviously, but they're going to get some of it back. You know what? So that's a less of a loss that they're going to take. I'm pretty sure there's some rules in there. It's not going to be that simple. It's just them taking their money, but taking his money. But yeah, they do get fined. I don't know what the limit is. I don't know how much they can go, but because some of it is guaranteed, right? There's always guaranteed money. So he's going to get his guaranteed money, but at the same time, he also signed a contract that says that he needs to play football. So he needs to play football to get that money. And if he's not playing, they're not going to give it to him.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what the contract's for.
Exactly.
It's like one of those things where you get just put in a rough position where, players. You can argue that players need a little bit more of, not power per se, but like a say. He's a quarterback.
But the thing is, well, before you say like they need more power, I mean, he's a player on a professional team where the GM is really the person that runs the team. Like Deshaun Watson's not the GM; he's just a player. So I don't think there's anything where he can do or say, like I want to hire the head coach, like LeBron, I guess, right? Like I don't know. I just feel like there's that position for a reason. The GM position.
And exactly. And Adrian makes a good point there, comparing it to the NBA. because in the NBA, they've already gone to a point where these players can do whatever they want, say whatever they want. I don't want to play with this person. I don't want to play for that coach. And if you want me, okay, yeah. But remember, NBA is a 5-player on the court team.
Yeah, exactly.
And one person does make that big of a difference.
Very true.
In the NFL, don't get me wrong,
What's
Deshaun
the
Watson
roster? It's like 14.
is going to make a big difference.
14,
11?
15-man roster.
Yeah,
Right?
like,
Yeah, against like what, 50?
yeah, something like that. But
53.
Deshaun,
Yeah. So, dude.
yeah, and Deshaun Watson is going to play a big role in the team winning and stuff. But if he doesn't have offensive linemen, he can't pass the ball. They can't run the ball. They still need defenders to stop people from scoring so they can outscore them and win the game. So, yes, Deshaun Watson is one of the most important pieces, but at the same time, he doesn't have the say to say, oh, I don't want to play for this coach, and I don't want to play with these players, and I want a better team. Okay, well, I mean, you signed a contract. If you didn't want to play for this team, then go.
You should have signed
And
a
now,
contract. Yeah.
going back to what Danny was saying about, and what Danny was saying about the power, the thing is that if you let the NFL get to the NBA status, the NBA level, we're never going to have an NFL season because they're going to end up protesting and suspending the season, because then all these players we're going to end up having replacement players, because these players are going to want all this money and they're going to want all this control.
Hey, Falco, baby.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is that you're eventually going to end up with players trying to run the team, and that's how that works in the NFL.
Yeah.
And then comes the rise of the XFL.
There we go.
No.
Well, okay, well.
Oh no, what's the league Johnny Manziel is in right now? He's throwing it to Josh Gordon.
Jesus Christ.
CFL?
The BMW Atlanta versus Ford fucking Virginia or some shit.
It's on
Something
CFL, right? It's not
the
Canada,
CFL is a
right?
Canadian, but
No, it's American.
no, they're in I think it's Arena, maybe. I don't know.
It's
I
something
just
like
saw the
Arena.
highlight.
Oh, yeah. So,
And then
Yeah,
they
it's
go
crazy.
home and work at Whataburger for the night shift.
Exactly. Deshaun can go do that. That'll be fine.
Nah. They're I don't know. I mean, the thing is like, because like that's the thing, is that when Deshaun signed that contract, the GM said, I'll give you, I'm gonna take your influence to hiring the new head coach and all that, right?
Yeah, they fired that GM.
Right.
And they hired another one that he didn't want.
Right. And he didn't like the head coach either.
yeah.
So he's kind of, I don't know. I mean, that wasn't his contract, right? Because like he took his word from the team,
Yeah, of course. And the owner at the time died. Now it's the son.
Yes,
So,
that's true. Also, yeah,
it's a bunch of new
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going
people.
on.
So
that's happened to so many players. Probably, like, I mean, unless you play for the Cowboys, because that dude's a vampire. But there's like so many teams where they're every year. Like, imagine being Carson Wentz. Like, dude, holy shit, you're gonna play for like 10 coaches. Sure.
oh yeah.
I think Jerry Jones has like the one ring
Yeah,
from Lord of
for
the Rings,
sure.
so he's got like that Gollum lives going on.
Motherfucker,
Oh, yeah.
he's like Voldemort, dude. He's got like Horcruxes and shit running everywhere.
Definitely.